market goes up, you go up. When the market goes down, you don't go down. Save Money Radio, your money safe and sound.
Welcome to Safe Money Radio with your host, Brad Pistole. Brad is a retirement and income specialist, primarily serving Springfield, but he's sought after nationally for his expertise in helping people secure their retirements. Mr. Pistole is a licensed life insurance professional in the states of Missouri, Arkansas, and Kansas, and he specializes in working with people who are near retirement and those who have already retired with wealth management, income planning, and asset protection strategies.
Save Money Radio, your money safe and sound.
And now, here to talk with you about securing your retirement, your host, Brad Pistole.
Well, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today. And I want to tell you this, if it's your first time joining us on the show, you want to stay with us. Today's show is going to be unlike any show I've done in the past 15 years. It is very, very unique. And I just want to grab your attention by saying this. For a lot of you who are listening right now, what I'm going to be talking about today is something that's on your mind all of the time. Not for every one of you. For those of you that it doesn't affect, you probably think it's the most boring thing in the world. And you think, how in the world could anyone ever spend so much time thinking about that or participating in that? But for a lot of you, for those of you who dipped your toe in the water and got your feet wet, you've been bitten by the bug. And you think about it all the time. You think about it when you're at work. You think about it when you're in your car. You think about it when something's on television and you don't really care about it. You think about it when you're standing in front of the mirror and you're practicing. You think about it when you're in church on Sunday morning and the preacher won't quit preaching and you're like, would you please hurry up because I can't stop thinking about this and I got to get out and get to lunch so I can get to it. Well, what am I talking about? Well, those of you who've been bitten by this bug, like my father was his entire life, know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the ridiculously addictive game of golf. People think about it all the time. If you have a husband that's been affected by this disease, he stands in front of the mirror and practices his swing. Maybe he keeps a putter in the bedroom and he's always putting his golf ball into a cup. He's always watching on Sunday afternoon. As a matter of fact, while I'm recording this show, the U.S. Open is on. And I can almost guarantee you if my son is, quote, quote, working right now in his office, he's got the U.S. Open on and he's watching it in the background because he's been bitten by the bug. And that's my fault. I was ridiculously addicted to the game of golf for about 36 years of my life. And if you'll keep listening, I'm going to qualify that later today. I don't have just average experience with the game of golf. I was a collegiate golfer, and I played way too much golf from junior high and high school through college and to about age 36. I know the game inside and out. I've been blessed to play with some amazing professional golfers, and I've participated in some wonderful events over the years, and we'll talk about that more on today's show. But today I want you to pay attention because the game of golf and your retirement planning has so much in common. They have so many things to do with each other, and I just want you to stick with us to hear it on today's show. So if you're listening for the first time, you may not know this. If you're listening on the radio, then there is also a podcast, so you can always go at any time to Apple, to Spotify, to YouTube. Many of our shows, we actually have guests on the show, and you can watch our shows. We gain like 50 subscribers a week. We have people who listen to us all over the world, so just go to YouTube, type in Safe Money Radio with Brad Pistole, and you can listen or watch however it is that it works best for you. But we are always bringing you the premier financial planning information in the Ozarks. Listen, we've been on the radio for 15 years. Our next closest person on the radio, because they listened to my show for 15 years, has only been on for 5 years. So don't be fooled by all the other shows and all the other copycats. God bless them and what they do, but they're all on the radio because of me. I've been on for 15 years. So we are the longest running financial planning show in the Ozarks, and we have incredible guests on this show. People like America's IRA expert, Ed Slott. People like world-renowned economist Tom Hegna, Social Security expert Heather Schreiber, people like Dr. Wade Fowle, Dr. Michael Finka, Dr. David Blanchett, Dr. Alex Margia. We recently had on retirement planning expert and fellow retirement income certified professional Don Graves. So we have all kinds of experts on the show. We're here to make sure you know what you need to know that other people and other financial professionals don't know and aren't telling you. And why aren't they telling you? Because they don't know what they don't know. So stick with us on the show today. We're going to be talking about this maddening game, this game that you can play so terribly for 17 holes. But on that 18th hole, when you sink that double breaking putt and make a birdie, you can't wait to get back out there the very next day. So there's probably been more divorces caused by this game and more marital problems and relationship problems than just about any other addiction in the world. So we got to be careful with it. But wives, if you're listening right now and your husband plays, or maybe your husband and your wife plays, hey, it gets us all. Kids, women, children, men, grandpas, grandmas. My mother and father played golf together all over the world. Colorado was their favorite place. They took vacations with 3 other couples. They went to Colorado to play golf every year. It was my father's favorite thing in the world to do. So stay with us. We're going to be talking about golf and what it has to do with your retirement income plan, and I guarantee you it has more to do with it than you think it does. So call us anytime at 866-780-7233. You can always ask for our free information, and let's jump right into today's show. So, friends, as we get started today, I want to read something to you, and you might be thinking, what in the world is he reading this to us for? But I assure you, when you hear someone say something, whether they're on the radio or television or wherever, you want to make sure that they know what they're talking about. They could be reading someone else's information. Maybe it's just because they took a test and they have a license to sell you something, but they may not be an expert at all about what they're talking about. So you need to quantify them and qualify them and make sure that they know what they're talking about. So I'm going to share this story with you today as we get started because it will help you understand why I can assure you I know what we're talking about today. Kenneth Woodson Duke, born January the 29th, 1969, is an American professional golfer who plays on the PGA Tour Champions. He formerly played on the PGA Tour with his sole victory coming at the 2013 Travelers Championship. Now I want to tell you some things about Ken Duke today, and I'll tell you why here in just a minute. Duke was born in Hope, Arkansas. As a 7th grader in Arkadelphia, he was diagnosed with scoliosis. It was determined that his spine had a curvature of over 26%, and he wore a back brace 23 hours a day. Duke had surgery 2 years later after it was determined that his spine had a 51% curvature. Once a 16-inch metal rod was attached to his spine. The curve of Duke's back was set at 38 degrees, within the normal range, and that's where it has stayed ever since. Months later, back playing for Arkadelphia High School, he won medalist honors in a high school district golf tournament wearing a back brace. In 1987, he was the Arkansas High School medalist at Pleasant Valley Country Club in Little Rock. Duke played his college golf at Henderson State University. Duke led the Reddies to 4 straight Arkansas Intercollegiate Conference titles and was a 4-time AIC Golfer of the Year. In 1992, he earned NAIA All-American honors. Now let's talk about his professional career for a minute because this is where things get interesting. He turned pro in 1994. He twice won on the Canadian Tour and led the Order of Merit. And then on June the 23rd of 2013, in his 187th start, after 3 runner-up finishes in his career, Duke broke through to win his first ever PGA Tour event at the Travelers Championship. He won in sudden death. It was an amazing thing if you can go back and read the history of it. But I want to end with talking about Ken Duke by telling you about this. In 2016, in the Players' Championship, which many of you know is considered the 5th major, Duke shot a 65 during the 3rd round on Saturday, May the 14th of 2016. Conditions were very difficult that day, and this round was subsequently viewed as one of the best rounds ever played at the TPC at Sawgrass. What course was Ken Duke playing today? Can anyone tell me? Was he playing across the road, said Jason Day after his round of 73? I think that should be the course record. Then Russell Knox said, the greens were the fastest I've ever putted. I looked up on the board and saw that Ken Duke shot 65 and was like, what? That's probably the best round of golf ever played. He finished tied for 3rd in that tournament, winning $504,000. Now, as I read before, Ken currently plays on the Champions Tour, and over his career, he's made close to $11 million playing professional golf. Now, why do I tell you that in today's show about what golf has to do with retirement income planning? Well, you see, I was a golf junkie. There's two things I can spend a lot of time talking about. That's basketball and golf. I can't talk to you about football or soccer or baseball. I just don't have much knowledge. But basketball and golf, I was junkies at. I was offered 2 college basketball scholarships. My grandfather was a coach for many, many years. There's still a very famous tournament held in his honor every year, the Arkansas Junior High Basketball Tournament, which is the Opal Pistol Memorial Tournament. That's been going on for 40 years now. My uncle was a college basketball player, and like I said, I was offered 2 basketball scholarships, but realized I was not going to be an NBA player, and I loved golf. I spent every single day of my summers playing golf, and so I walked on to the golf team and ended up playing college golf. That's pretty amazing what happened in my story. But the reason I spent so much time talking to you about Ken Duke is this. In my first ever college golf tournament in the month of February, when it was so cold that we had to wait on the greens to thaw before we could tee off, I got paired up with this guy named Ken Duke. Yeah, that's right. My very first collegiate tournament where I was so nervous, I think I topped my drive off the first tee and hit it into a creek. I know I triple bogeyed the first hole. And so for someone that was used to shooting par or under par, I was humiliated. But I know this. That first day, I played with Ken Duke. He shot a 1 under par 71. He beat me by 21 strokes. I shot a 92. And at the end of that day that I think topped out at about 41 degrees, I was proud of that 92. You want to know why? The senior on our team, a all-conference golfer and medalist every single year, shot a 78. He was the second best scorer to Ken Duke's 71. Most of the college golfers shot in the mid-80s to low to mid and upper 90s. One of the other seniors on my team shot a 97 that day. So it was brutal. Of course, you're talking about playing from the tips, playing from the blue tees, playing the ball down. It's cold, it's wet, it's the middle of the winter, and Ken Duke shot a 71. Guys, I played golf all over the world. And so I want to tell you that I'm qualified to talk about today's show, and so many of my colleagues have written about golf in their books and how it relates to retirement planning. So I'll just tell you this. For many, many years, my father worked for Merrill Lynch as an assistant vice president, and guess who they wanted to play on all their scramble teams, on all their tournament teams? Well, they wanted me. I was the ringer, right? Multiple times we won the local championship for the FCA, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. The number one fundraiser every year took place in Fort Smith, Arkansas, and we would play in this big tournament. That's where they would have all these teams. It was a 2-day tournament. We won the local championship several years in a row. We won the state championship more than once. And in 2006, when we won the state championship, we got to travel to the TPC at Sawgrass in Florida, where Ken Duke had this historic round. And we competed for 3 straight days for the national championship with all the other state winners. While we were there, I will never forget it. They had people on every single hole watching every single shot. You had to record your score after every hole. And on one par 4 at the TPC at Sawgrass, I hit a beautiful drive down the middle of the fairway and then took a 7-iron and I flew it over the flagstick and sucked it back into the hole and made an eagle by myself, a 2. I have a beautiful picture with myself and my father with me picking up my ball out of the cup, having made an eagle on the famous TPC at Sawgrass hole. My father actually hit an iron in on the famous Island Green hole, number 17. All of you probably spend a lot of time watching all the shots on number 17, and he hit it to 2 feet. Now, we were playing in a 4-man scramble, and I'll tell you this. If you want to know how difficult the Sunday pin is on the Island Green at the TPC at Sawgrass, I can tell you this. Having been a collegiate golfer, being very, very, very good with my short game, watching my father hit it to 2.5 feet on the Island Green on the Sunday pin on the far right, we missed the putt 4 times in a row. 3 of us didn't even hit the hole. I hit the cup and it horseshoed all the way around, and when it horseshoed around because I'd hit it too fast, it came back further than where we started putting from. It left us with a 3-foot putt. So putting, you drive for show, you putt for dough. It's a tricky, tricky thing. So I tell you all that, and I could go on and on and on and on about how much of my time has been spent on a golf course, but I will tell you this. Today, we are going to be talking about how golf closely relates to your retirement income planning. And I'm going to start with this story from my good friend, Tom Hegna. Tom wrote this back on August the 1st of 2023. Most of you know I'm an avid golfer. I like to use golf as an analogy to explain how simple it can be to become wealthy. Investing is a lot like the game of golf. Both investing and golf are very simple. There are 3 phases in golf: the tee shot, the approach, and the putt. In investing, there are also 3 phases: building wealth, protecting wealth, and distributing wealth. In golf, I'm allowed to carry 14 clubs. I don't use my lob wedge to tee off on a par 5. That wouldn't work very well. I don't use my driver out of the sand trap. I don't use my putter from 150 yards out. Each club is a product with its own function, and it's the same with financial products. In investing, we can't use the same products for all different phases of retirement. Wealth-building products won't help protect wealth. Wealth distribution products won't help build wealth. I find too many financial advisors who are not using all the clubs in their bag. Some only want to sell managed money. Some only want to sell annuities. Some don't want to sell life insurance. When it comes to building wealth, mutual funds, annuities, managed money, and life insurance can do that. Building wealth with disability insurance or putting your money into a long-term care insurance product won't work. When it comes to protecting your wealth, annuities, life insurance, disability insurance all work. But managed money, mutual funds, and stocks and bonds won't work. An investment product can't make up wages if someone is disabled. Millions of dollars are at risk with high liability limits and an umbrella policy. When it comes to distributing wealth, managed money isn't going to distribute wealth very efficiently. That's what annuities do. Life insurance provides tax-free income in retirement. So what I'm saying is this: each club in my bag has a different function, and I don't use the wrong club in the wrong situation. It's the same in financial services. Use the right product in the right situation. You don't want to be an advisor who says, I'm just going to carry a 7-iron. A 7-iron isn't going to get you a good score if it's the only club you carry. Use all the products in your bag. Now, again, that was world-renowned economist Tom Hegna. He's the author of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? He's the author of Paychecks and Playchecks, Retirement Solutions for Life. And he's also the author of Don't Worry, Retire Happy, 7 Steps to Retirement Security. And Tom, who lives in Arizona, who plays golf all over the world, he's now semi-retired and he loves golf. He understands that there are 14 clubs in your golf bag for a reason. Now, here's something that's interesting. A lot of professionals carry 4 wedges in their golf bag. They get 14 clubs and they carry 4 wedges. Now, I used to carry a 52 and a 56 and a 60. I also had my pitching wedge. So it just depends on who you are. But people who understand the game of the golf know this: you drive for show and you putt for dough. So whenever you get around the greens, it's the scoring, it's the flop shot, it's the people like Phil Mickelson who can get up and down from anywhere, or people like Tiger Woods and other people who historically in their career have had phenomenal short games. Sure, everyone can hit it a long way when they're a professional, but it's those who putt really well that make the money. The same thing is true when it comes to retirement planning. You don't want 14 drivers in your bag. Someone who says, I don't mind risk at all. I swing for the fences. And there are a lot of people who are financial professionals that say you don't need any protection. Annuities, life insurance, that's all ridiculous. As a matter of fact, the guys who sell those things are crooks. They should be in jail. You should never buy anything like that. You just need a good managed money portfolio. That's someone who's telling you you should have 14 drivers in your bag. That's what they're telling you. Just grip it and rip it and hit it all you can all the time. Have you ever seen the rounds of golf by professionals? Like I know I've watched one with Annika Sorenstam and a couple of other guys from the PGA Tour where they had to play their entire round with a 7-iron. How'd they score? Not too well. You don't tee off with a 7-iron and hit from the middle of the fairway and hit from the sand traps and hit from the rough and putt with a 7-iron. You need drivers and irons and wedges and putters, right? So make sure you pay attention to this when it comes to your financial planning. You want to absolutely make sure that the person you're talking to is not only credible, they have financial designations beyond the license to sell you something. They have a history of working with For instance, the American College, or it just depends. A person could be a CFP, they could be an RICP, they could be a CFF. I personally have 3 financial designations. I'm currently working on a 4th, and that is because I want to stay on top of my game. I want to understand the 14 different clubs that are needed inside your golf bag. And our team here at Trinity Insurance Financial Services, we are retirement income certified professionals, and we understand this. In the golf bag, the retirement golf bag, you need stocks, bonds, mutual funds, annuities, life insurance. You might have real estate. You might rent. You might own land. You might do, for instance, like what I do, where I have farms and I cash rent out to farmers and do crop sharing, and I have income that comes in from that. But I do also own stocks, bonds, mutual funds. I own 7 annuities. I own 8 life insurance policies, because I'm using all the tools in my golf bag to put together a complete plan. If you're talking with someone, and there's one group in particular, I know lots of groups that do it, but there's one particular group of people, they're on every single street corner in America. They're one of the largest groups in the world, and I can tell you this, they do one thing. They're going to put you in mutual funds. That's it. They are not going to sell you life insurance. They're not going to talk to you about tax planning. They're not going to talk to you about Roth conversions. They're not going to talk to you about IRMA, income-related monthly adjustment amounts, or taxation. They're not going to talk to you about any of that, the need for protection or guaranteed lifetime income. They just stick you in mutual funds and just let her ride. There is nothing specific about what they do, nothing special. It's just the same cookie cutter at every single one of them. They don't have designations. They just have their license to sell you stocks, bonds, and mutual funds, and it's mainly going to be mutual funds. Now, is that a complete plan? I don't think so. We differ in our opinion. I think that inside the golf bag, you need a little bit of everything, because you're going to run into different situations in life, and you're going to need to use different tools in that bag at different times. And I can tell you this, I know this because I was really, really, really good at the game of golf, and especially the short game. So having those wedges in the bag and being able to one putt was a big, big deal. The same is true when it comes to retirement income planning. So make sure you're working with a retirement income certified professional. Now, if you stay with us for the rest of the show, you're going to find out the history of the math and science behind this. I'm going to read to you from several key retirement planning experts to quantify the fact that what I'm telling you is true. So stay with us. Our number is 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. And if you want a copy of my best-selling retirement planning book, Bulletproof, The Safe and Secure Retirement Income Plan, call us at any time. It's 866-780-7233, and there's always someone standing by to take your call. Now, as we continue on our show today about golf and what it has to do with your retirement income plan, I want to read a story to you out of a book that's from a friend of mine, Don Graves, a fellow retirement income certified professional. I saw him at an Ed Slott conference here recently, and he handed me this new book, and he said, hey, here's what I want you to do before the end of the day today. I want you to go upstairs and read this story at the beginning of the book, and if so, you're going to come back and talk to me. And I thought, all right. I wonder how many people actually do that. So I ran upstairs during our lunch break and I read the story. And it'll only take a few minutes, and I'll tell you, it's one of the most amazing applicable stories to retirement planning I've ever read. So let me read it to you. In the world of sports where legends are made and legacies are forged, there exists a tale of strategy so audacious, so unconventional that it transcends the boundaries of the game itself. Several years ago, I stumbled upon a crazy story that gripped me like no other. It captivates the imagination and challenges the very essence of what it means to compete at the highest level. So picture this. The year is 2007, and all eyes are on the New England Patriots as they march through the NFL season with an air of invincibility. Under the masterful guidance of Coach Bill Belichick, the Patriots are a well-oiled machine, steamrolling their opponents with ruthless efficiency. Led by the iconic Tom Brady and bolstered by the electrifying talent of Randy Moss, this team is on a mission to etch their names into the annals of football history. As the regular season unfolded, the Patriots rewrote the record books, notching win after win with an unprecedented 16-0 record. Their offense was unstoppable, shattering long-standing records and striking fear into the hearts of their adversaries. With each passing game, the aura of inevitability surrounding the Patriots grew stronger, and whispers of an undefeated season began to swirl. But amidst the fervor and excitement, there lingered a sense of unease, a nagging doubt that threatened to undermine the Patriots' quest for greatness. Despite their dominance on the field, there were whispers of skepticism, murmurs of uncertainty that cast a shadow over their seemingly inevitable march to glory. It was in that moment of uncertainty that Coach Belichick made a decision that forever altered the course of football history. In a move that defied logic and convention, he announced a bold strategy, though it was not revealed to the public, for the upcoming Super Bowl, a strategy that would leave fans and pundits alike scratching their heads in disbelief. As the Patriots took the field for the biggest game of the season, the tension was palpable. The eyes of the world were upon them, waiting to see what Coach Belichick had up his sleeve. Will it pay off, or will it unravel in spectacular fashion? And then, as the opening kickoff approached, Coach Belichick delivered his master stroke, a move so unexpected, so daring, that it left even the most seasoned football analyst speechless. He deliberately started only 10 players instead of the usual 11 for the opening kickoff, and then persisted with this strategy of only using 10 players versus 11 players throughout the entire game, both on offense and on defense. This decision sent shockwaves through the stadium and set the stage for one of the most unforgettable moments in sports history. As the game unfolded and the drama reached its climax, the true genius of Coach Belichick's strategy became clear. With each play, each pass, each tackle, the Patriots proved that they were more than the sum of their parts, that they were a team united in purpose and driven by a singular vision of greatness. And when the final whistle blew and the confetti rained down from the sky, it wasn't just a victory for the Patriots. It was a triumph of innovation, a testament to the power of daring to think differently and challenging the status quo. Now, as you listen to this, I want to ask you, do you remember this story? I hope you didn't say yes. The answer has to be no. You see, there's no coach in any sport, especially on the biggest stage of them all, that would ever dare do anything less than using all of their best assets. Because the objective is simple here. Position the team for the greatest chance for victory. Now, I love what Don Graves says in this story, and it's an amazing story. But he says just as no coach would dream of leaving out their best players in a championship game, we as financial professionals must recognize, and he goes on to talk about, different tools that are there that should be a part of your golf bag, should be one of the 14 clubs. And he talks about why it is that there are so many financial professionals who do the unthinkable. And what is the unthinkable? They play with less players than they should play. They have the ability to use 14 different clubs or to put 11 players on the field, but they don't. They only use 10. A lot of them only use 1 or 2 because they simply refuse to use certain things. Oh, you should never use an annuity. You should never use life insurance. That has nothing to do with retirement planning. This is what he says. Today's retirement will be longer, more expensive, and less predictable than anyone imagined. It is literally the biggest game and gamble of a retiree's life. And to have anything less than the best assets on the field would be insane. Friends, that's from my good friend who's been a guest on this show, Don Graves, Retirement Income Certified Professional, from his book, when he actually talks about reverse mortgages and a way to use an extra tool in your club, as a club in your bag that many people aren't aware of. I want you to stay with us on the show today. We're going to be jumping into the correlation between golf and using all the clubs in your bag as it relates to your retirement income plan. Call us anytime at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. Friends, I want to read something to you as we continue the show today, and this is from my good friend Ed Slott. This is his brand new book that was just released in June of 2024. It's The Retirement Savings Time Bomb Ticks Louder: How to Avoid Unnecessary Tax Landmines, Diffuse the Latest Threats to Your Retirement Savings, and Ignite Your Financial Freedom. Now, I want to read this because it's in the very beginning of his book, in the introduction, and he's talking about playing the back nine. And, of course, today we're talking about the game of golf and how it relates to your retirement income plan, and I assure you it does. Let's listen to what Ed says. In the not-so-distant past, the issue of protecting retirement savings rather than investing for retirement might have been considered putting the cart before the horse. Not any longer. Today, Americans have invested trillions of dollars into retirement plans, turning them into the biggest, most valuable assets they own, often worth more than even their homes. As a result, savings protection has become the name of the retirement plan game. Most, if not all, retirement planning strategists, however, focus on why you should save for retirement and how to grow your money through a variety of investment vehicles. That's valuable information, but it's not enough. Look at it this way. What good is making even a 50% return on an investment if at the time of the withdrawal, taxes will step in to claim 70, 80, or maybe even 90% of your nest egg? Even though income and estate tax rates have come down significantly, the great unknown is what future tax rates will be and what new plan money-hungry Congress may devise to separate you from your retirement savings. If history is any lesson, tax rates on retirement savings will likely increase substantially just when you need the money the most, upon withdrawal in retirement. In addition, given the financial mess our country is currently in, hope springs eternal, taxes will have to increase. Look at the bulging deficits, including the trillions we added by providing relief during the COVID-19 pandemic. This bill will soon come due, hitting hardest those who have saved the most. So you need to be prepared for future tax increases when it comes time to reach into your retirement funds. At this point, any politician who tells you they can cut your taxes is really just saying, "I'm bad at math." Remember that much of the money in Americans' retirement funds is tax deferred, meaning it has not yet been taxed. So it is a sitting duck for future tax hikes. Think of it like coming down the stretch of the U.S. Open Golf Championship. The front nine is where you position your lead by building up your assets, holding on to your lead. Protecting your assets from excessive taxation is the back nine, where ultimately you win or lose. Friends, I can assure you, the game of golf correlates a lot to your retirement income plan. And when you're in your early 40s, maybe even early 50s, you feel like you're on the front nine. But a lot of people get this backwards. Honestly, when you're in your mid-50s, you definitely are on the back nine, and you need to be paying attention to the protection of your retirement assets. Why? Because of something called sequence of returns risk. And I've used my own father as an example for this for many, many years on the show. My father was a financial advisor for 52 years. But during the 2001 and 2008 financial crisis, my father left his retirement portfolio 100% unprotected. What do I mean by unprotected? Well, he worked for Merrill Lynch as an assistant vice president at the time. And he sold stocks, bonds, and mutual funds and worked with 401k plans with different companies. And so his entire nest egg was in his Merrill Lynch 401k. In 2001, at age 56, he lost about 45% of his 401k, his retirement income plan. And then as he was building it back up, you know what happened 6 years later? In 2007 and 8 and 9, he lost about 50% of it again. Here's the problem. He was no longer 56. He's now 63. Going through two massive losses, or what we call corrections in the market, having no protection at age 56 and 63 can wipe you out when it comes to retirement planning. That's why Ed Slott says, and I quote, "Taxes will be the single biggest factor that separates people from their retirement dreams. It's not just the losses. My father lost 45% and 50+% from his retirement plan, but it was 100% tax deferred. So then when he started taking his distributions out, he also had to give up a huge portion of that to Uncle Sam." Friends, that's why when it comes to golf, and there's 14 different clubs in your bag, we want you working with someone who understands the necessity of all those clubs and who knows how to use them, who can tell you, hey, this is a shot where we need a 9-iron. This is a shot where maybe we need a 60-degree wedge. This is a play here where maybe we need to use a 3-wood on the edge of the green when a lot of people would use an 8-iron, but there's a reason why. Let's show you the history of it. And so have you ever noticed professional golfers, which I've said earlier in the show, I played college golf. I could always tell at the very beginning of every tee when I was playing with a group of people for the first time, I could just watch the way they gripped the club and thought that person's going to slice all day, or that person's going to hook all day, that person's going to top their shots all day long. One practice swing and I knew. But I also knew when they went and teed their ball up on the teeing ground that they had given no thought whatsoever to that hole. They had not thought about the green and its location. They had not thought about where they need to lay up to, what the next shot's going to be like, what side of the green the pin is on, which determines what side of the tee box you tee off from and where you land in the fairway. So yes, I studied all that, and that's why, when in my heyday, I would always shoot even somewhere between 4 under par to 2 over, in that even 2 under, somewhere in that range. I know at one point during my college career, I shot under par 14 rounds in a row. 14 in a row. Today, I can't do that. Today, I don't practice and I don't study the game. Now, I love to watch it. I'm still a fan. If you guys come to the office, I've got all kinds of pictures around the office. I love the game of golf, and I know it inside and out. And it very directly correlates to retirement planning. And if you're working with someone who does not know, there's a reason why you tee off in a certain place on the tee box, and there's a reason why you leave yourself further back from the fairway. There's a reason why you don't have 14 drivers in your bag. There's a reason why maybe you need 4 different wedges. When you correlate that to retirement income planning, that means there's a reason why you don't just use just annuities or just stocks or just bonds or just whatever it is, real estate, gold, silver, all these combinations of all these different things. That's why we have a team here. You see, I focus on the safety side of things. I'm a retirement income certified professional who focuses on the safety and insurance side of things, annuities, life insurance, your Social Security planning, your Medicare planning, Roth conversions, getting rid of the taxes inside your account, making sure you keep more of your own money. I have other people on our team that are more of your stock, bond, mutual fund, more of your swinging for the fences, higher growth potential, and the more of the risk management side of things. We have a great team, all of which of us have certain financial designations that mean we do ongoing education to train us specifically in our areas of expertise. Who are you working with? Are you working with someone that's just the weekend golfer? Oh, they love to play. They think about it all the time. They practice their swing in the mirror. They putt in their living room, but they don't have any qualification for it. They don't study it. They just love to go play. They're the weekend golfer, and they shoot 85 to 90, right? They're thrilled if they shoot an 85. That's okay. That's fine. There's all kinds of golfers out there. That's not okay in retirement planning. You don't want to just go out there and swing for the fences, hit your driver on every single hole, get as close as you can no matter what without paying attention to the hazards, the creeks, the sand traps. You want to make sure that you yourself and the person, your financial professional that you're working with, that you are very strategic in your income planning. You select the clubs and the products with a purpose so that you tee off into the right places based on your age, based on what's going on in the market, based on your need for guaranteed income. And I can prove to you why this is important when you stay with us for our next couple of segments today. I'm going to read some information from retirement planning experts who talk about this. Our number is 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233, and you don't want to miss the end of today's show. Friends, as we get started here, I want to read something to you from Fox Business from July the 11th of 2023. The title of this says, "Most seniors regret retirement planning decisions and they want a do-over." Now, this was written by Nora Colomer, and I want you to listen to what she had to say. Most seniors wish they would have made different choices while planning for retirement, a recent Lincoln Financial Group survey says. More than half, 60% of retirees said they'd go back and plan their retirement differently if they could, according to this recent survey. The biggest planning mistake older Americans wish they could reverse was to start saving earlier to build a nest egg for retirement. Americans also regretted not including investments that provided a steady income stream in their retirement planning, with 63% saying they'd like to receive an automatic paycheck from their retirement assets. Additionally, 85% said they wish they had planned better for the unexpected, like inflation and volatility, by investing in solutions that protected them from losses during market volatility. There aren't many opportunities for a do-over when it comes to retirement planning, Tim Seifert, Senior Vice President and Head of Retirement Solutions Distribution at Lincoln Financial, said. Yet two of the major concerns that retirees voiced in our study, guaranteed income and protection from loss, can be addressed with certain types of annuities. Now, friends, you heard Ed Slott say earlier in the show from his brand new book, The Retirement Savings Time Bomb Ticks Louder, about the importance of the front nine and the back nine, with more emphasis being on the back nine. And if you're anywhere near retirement age, if you're 55 plus, you're on the back nine whether you realize it or not. And safety and guarantees are more important than you think. And for many of you, it's way more important than your current stockbroker thinks, because they just don't put much weight and importance on safety. They think you should hit a driver on every single swing of the golf game. Just swing for the fences. It'll be okay as long as you keep swinging for the fences. We can always outdo inflation and downturns in the market. If you keep swinging, we'll always be able to offset income and losses and fees in those years when we hit the home run. I totally, completely disagree. And why? Because I've read the research. I'm a retirement income certified professional through the American College of Financial Services. My good friends have their PhDs. They have done study after study after study. Remember, they are financially planning agnostic when it comes to what you use. They don't care if you use stocks, bonds, mutual funds, life insurance, real estate, gold, silver. They don't. They just want you to be successful. And their research says this: you better have a significant portion of your money invested in something that's guaranteed and take the risk off the table if you want to make your retirement last the rest of your life. And if you don't believe it, keep listening, because I'm going to read you that proof before the show ends. Here's a couple other things that were key from this survey from Fox Business, this article. It says historic waves of retirees may over-rely on Social Security. There is a big wave of retirees that may increasingly rely on Social Security benefits to make ends meet. The survey said that by 2030, 1/5 of the U.S. population will be 65 years or older, with the nation reaching a peak of roughly 12,000 people turning 65 every single day in 2024. Half of U.S. households are at risk of not having enough income to maintain their living standards in retirement. Moreover, 50% of married couples and 70% of unmarried persons will depend on Social Security to replace 50% or more of their income in retirement because they lack other adequate sources of protected income, the survey said. For generations, the reliable three-legged stool for retirement planning, employer pensions, Social Security, and personal savings, provided retirement security to millions of Americans. This is no longer the case. Private sector pensions have virtually disappeared, and low personal savings rates have led to millions of unprotected households, causing more people to tap into Social Security benefits too soon and to rely on those benefits too much. Friends, what are they saying? They're saying you better have a financial plan. You better have clubs in your bag, in your retirement toolkit, that are designed to help you beyond Social Security. And what does that mean? Well, that's another asset. That's like a 401k or an IRA, or hopefully tax-free assets like Roth IRAs or cash value life insurance. And you need those positioned into the right products in order to be able to provide guaranteed lifetime income for you. If you don't believe me, keep listening. Here's an article by Karen Hube on December the 7th of 2022 in Barron's Magazine, and it's titled, Why High Net Worth Investors Are Paying More Attention to Annuities. Wealthy investors are wising up to the unique benefits of annuities. While these insurance-sold investment products are known as tools for turning savings into lifetime income, they are increasingly capturing the attention of high net worth investors as a way to maximize after-tax gains, leave more to their heirs, offset the impact of inflation, and stabilize portfolios during a highly volatile time. Now, how do I know that this appeals to high net worth individuals? And not just them, to everyday individuals. Let me give you an example. In May of 2024, I personally wrote 30 annuities for local and nationwide clients. Now, I have clients in about 16 different states, but in 1 month, the month of May of 2024, I wrote 30 annuities, and I rolled over more than $10.2 million from retirement plans into protection. Why? Because people who have high net worth, mid-level net worth, low net worth, they all want the same thing: safety and guaranteed lifetime income. Now, friends, for the entire year of 2024 through half of June, I average $1 million a week going into annuities for local clients. Now, that's not all we do. In the month of May, when I did $10.2 million in annuities for local clients, we also rolled over about $5 million in other assets, managed money, if you will. Remember, my son is an investment advisor representative, and we use Charles Schwab, and we have investments of different types there for all different reasons. It's part of their total complete retirement income plan. We're not just annuity people. We're not just life insurance people. We're not just investment people. We are retirement income certified professionals. We look at your entire situation, your entire portfolio, and we set you up with all the clubs. We want you to have all 14 clubs in your retirement income bag. Now, here's the thing. I want to read one more thing to you as we close the show today that's going to give you more of the math and science behind it from my good friend Tom Hegna, but I want to share this with you. You can call us anytime at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. If you want a free consultation, if you want us to take a look at what's in your bag to see whether or not you've got all drivers in there or all wedges, just let us know. We'd be glad to help anytime, and we'll do this absolutely free. Call us at 866-780-7233. Now let's wrap up the show today that we've been talking about golf and retirement planning and what they have to do with each other. Well, let's take a quick peek at what Tom Hegna, world-renowned economist, had to say in his book, Paychecks and Playchecks, Retirement Solutions for Life. This is from the end of the book when it says, "And they lived happily ever after." We started with the question, what happened to happily ever after? This used to be so simple. People worked for 30 or 40 years, many times with the same company, and got a very comfortable pension to last them through their retirement. Because of shorter life expectancies for many, retirement was a short period of time prior to death. Fast forward to today, people are living longer. Pensions are a faded memory of days gone by. Markets are more volatile than ever. Social Security and Medicare are on shaky ground, and retirement has become a scary word. The greatest risk for pension fund managers is that they will not have enough money to fund future retirement benefits claims. You need to be similarly concerned about underfunding because you are responsible for managing your own retirement plan. We talked about the risk of inflation, deflation, living too long, and withdrawing too much. And it is so important to understand the power of longevity risk. Longevity is not just a single risk in retirement. It's a multiplier of all the other risks. So think about it. If you only live 5 years in retirement, inflation really will not have much impact on your portfolio. It would not matter if you withdrew 10% per year since you would only be taking money out for 5 years. It would not make much difference if the market dropped 30%. None of the other risks would really matter if you died early in retirement. However, each additional year you live, the other risks grow exponentially. If you live to be 100, almost none of the formulas used for investment simulation would provide an effective solution. Inflation could devastate your fixed income or savings accounts. Withdraw even 0.5% too much money each year, and you will run out. So longevity is not simply a risk. It is a risk that makes all other risks very real. The investment two-step guaranteed income and inflation protection plan. The solution to this dilemma is very simple. A two-step process that is supported by math and science. Step 1 is to cover your basic expenses with guaranteed lifetime income. First, you need to know how much money you need each month in retirement. Subtract out your Social Security and any pensions you may receive. The remaining shortfall needs to be covered by a lifetime income annuity. Because of the mortality credits, which provide additional benefits the longer you live, only a lifetime income annuity can optimize income over the indefinite period of a human life. Dr. Menahem Yare proved this in the 1960s. If you do not use a lifetime income annuity, one of the following will be true. You will either spend too much and eventually run out of money, or you will spend too little and never live the retirement you dreamed about. The second step is to optimize the portfolio for inflation. This approach will be difficult for some conservative investors. If you've saved money your whole life in CDs or bank accounts or other conservative investments, it will be difficult to suddenly invest in gas, oil, gold, real estate, stocks, tips, or other things like this. But remember, if all of your other expenses are covered by guaranteed income, you have already removed most of the risks in retirement. You've taken care of longevity risk since you get those checks for the rest of your life. The payments will never go down, so you have taken deflation, recession, and depression off the list. Since the returns from lifetime income annuities do not fluctuate, you have removed market risk from the equation. Friends, again, that was world-renowned economist Tom Hegna in Paychecks and Playchecks, Retirement Solutions for Life. Tom is an expert at explaining the purpose of having 14 different clubs in your retirement golf bag. He lives in Scottsdale, Arizona, the Phoenix area. He loves to play golf, tries to play almost every day now that he's semi-retired, and he understands you don't use a driver on every single shot. You don't use a wedge on every single shot, and you don't tee off with a putter. If you're working with a financial professional and they only put you in one thing, let's say all mutual funds, all stocks, all annuities, all life insurance, all whatever, gold, silver, whatever it is. Your gold guy that you call after hearing the commercial on the radio, gold's all that matters to him, right? That's it, because it's the only club in his bag. You need to be really leery of working with people who only have one club in their bag. Friends, we are retirement income certified professionals. We will help you with all aspects of retirement planning. We will talk about the importance of growth in the early years, of safety and moderation in the middle years, of guaranteed lifetime income in the later years, but still needs to be coupled with some growth and guaranteed passing on of your benefits to your heirs. We are retirement income certified professionals through the American College of Financial Services, and we're here to help any way that we can. We are experts when it comes to making sure you use all of the clubs that are available to you and all of the clubs in your bag. We don't want you teeing off with a driver on every single hole with every single shot. You got to have a variety to make your income last the rest of your life. If you would like a copy of my best-selling book, Bulletproof, The Safe and Secure Retirement Income Plan that explains exactly how this happens, call us anytime. I'll also give you a copy of my Safe Money Kit that's literally shown thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people how to do this all across the country. Tune into our show every week. Go to our podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and listen to the Safe Money Radio podcast with Brad Pistole. We're so glad that you listen to us every single week. We love bringing the information to you. We will talk to you soon. Call us anytime at 866-780-7233, where there's always someone standing by to take your call. Well, I'm about out of time, and I would like to thank you for listening to Safe Money Radio. If you're serious about your financial future, give me a call, and together we'll get your retirement savings on the fast track to accumulation while reducing exposure to market losses. Thanks for listening, and until next time at the same time, I'm Brad Pistole, reminding you to stay safe so you can step into a secure future.
Save Money Radio, your money safe and sound.
You've been listening to Safe Money Radio with your host, Brad Pistole. Find out how to contractually guarantee that your hard-earned money is safe while avoiding market loss so you can have the retirement that you deserve. Call Brad Pistole now for your complimentary Safe Money book and Safe Money information kit at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233.
Save Money Radio, your money safe and sound.
The preceding information does not represent tax, legal, or investment advice. Surrender charges apply to base contracts. Optional lifetime income benefit riders are used to calculate lifetime payments only and are not available for cash surrender or in a death benefit unless specified in the annuity contract. Fees may apply. Guarantees are based on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the insurance company. No information presented today should be acted upon without meeting with a qualified and licensed professional. Obviously, by calling us now, you are just taking the first step towards protecting your retirement. It's important that you read all insurance contract disclosures carefully before making a purchase decision. Rates and returns mentioned on this program are subject to change without notice.